Welcome to my channel FemVision. My name is Ryan and I've always been the type of person who likes to help others. Something people notice about me, my friends, my coworkers, even strangers in passing. But there's a side of me that nobody really knows, a secret fascination that has quietly shaped the way I see myself. I've always loved crossdressing, not as a joke, not as a dare, but as a personal way to explore a side of myself I rarely get to show. Skirts, makeup, subtle curves enhanced with padding, it's more than appearance. It's confidence, identity, freedom. I live in a modest apartment near the city's bustling center, the kind of place that feels cozy but private. The walls are lined with books, my own collection of outfits carefully hidden in the back of my closet, and a mirror that's both my confidant and my accomplice. That mirror has seen me transform countless times, slipping into a persona that is both daring and vulnerable. My life is otherwise ordinary. I work at a marketing firm, a routine that keeps me busy, and I spend evenings either on errands or unwinding with my girlfriend, Isabella. She's smart, confident, and effortlessly charismatic, the kind of person who commands attention without even trying. Our relationship is strong, loving, and affectionate. She teases me often, playful yet piercing in her observations. She doesn't know about my secret side and I guard it closely. The day everything changed began like any other. I was heading to the gym after work, a ritual to clear my head and keep my energy levels up. I love the gym. It's both a challenge and a place to observe people, to see how they move, how they carry themselves. That day, as I was stretching near the treadmills, I noticed someone struggling at the weight rack. A young woman, clearly new to the gym, fidgeting with her attire, unsure of how to adjust her posture, her form, and her confidence simultaneously. Something clicked inside me. I've always enjoyed helping others feel better about themselves, and in that moment, my secret and my natural inclination merged. I approached her carefully, offering a friendly tip on her stance. She looked surprised at first, but then relief softened her expression. I realized immediately that this wasn't just about helping someone lift weights. This was about transformation. And not just the physical kind. "Hi, I'm Ryan," I said with a reassuring smile. "Do you want a few tips to make your workout easier and maybe even more comfortable?" She hesitated, then nodded, clearly trusting me despite having just met me. That simple act, the willingness to let a stranger guide her, sparked something electric inside me. My mind raced with possibilities. What if I could help her not only feel confident in her movements but also explore a new side of herself? What if this could be a moment of empowerment for both of us, a shared experience that challenged norms and expectations? As I guided her through exercises, I noticed how self-conscious she was about her appearance. The tight leggings, the loose-fitting top, the way she adjusted her ponytail constantly, it all told me she was seeking confidence, and in helping her I found my own excitement building. It wasn't just about instruction. It was about coaching, mentoring, and subtly introducing her to a persona she might not have fully embraced yet. My heart raced, my palms tingled, and a familiar thrill settled in my chest. The same thrill I always feel when preparing to crossdress. The anticipation of transformation, the vulnerability, the thrill of stepping into a new persona. But this time it was externalized, shared. I wasn't just preparing myself, I was guiding someone else. And that added a layer of suspense, of potential exposure, of uncharted emotional territory. By the end of the session, I had suggested a few subtle tweaks to her outfit, how to layer clothing for comfort and confidence, and even a light recommendation for enhancing posture and poise. She thanked me with a smile that lit up her face, and I realized the power of transformation, even in something as simple as gym attire. That small moment planted the seed for what would become something far bigger, far more intense, and far more transformative than either of us could have imagined. As I walked home that evening, I couldn't shake the feeling that my life had just taken an unexpected turn. A stranger, a few minutes of guidance, and a small tweak to her wardrobe had opened a door to a world where identity, confidence, and self-expression collided. And in the privacy of my apartment, as I reflected on the encounter, I felt a familiar urge rising. A desire to explore, to guide, and perhaps to cross into that world of transformation myself once again. Little did I know that moment at the gym would be the catalyst for a chain of events that would challenge my secret desires, test my courage, and push me into a journey of physical and emotional transformation I never could have predicted. A stranger, a simple makeover, and everything would change. The next few days were a blur of excitement and restless anticipation. I couldn't stop thinking about that encounter at the gym. The stranger, her name was Mia, had left a lasting impression. There was something magnetic about the vulnerability in her posture, the subtle insecurity that I recognized instantly because it mirrored the hidden part of myself. I wanted to help her more, but more than that, I wanted to explore the thrill of guiding her transformation, seeing how confidence and identity could be shaped with just the right touch. I began spending my evenings preparing outfits, makeup techniques, posture exercises. I wanted to have everything ready if Mia agreed to a more hands-on session. As I laid out the clothes, my heart pounded with the familiar excitement I always felt when preparing to crossdress. Soft fabrics, fitted tops, leggings that accentuated curves. These were not just clothes. They were tools, instruments of transformation. The first time Mia returned, I felt a rush of tension. She greeted me with a nervous smile, carrying her gym bag as if it were armor. "Thanks for helping me again," she said softly. Her voice carried the same combination of hope and uncertainty that had drawn me in before. We started with simple stretches, working through muscle tension and posture adjustments. My hands occasionally brushed against her and a shiver ran through me. The thrill wasn't just about helping her. It was about experiencing transformation through someone else, feeling the subtle intimacy of guiding her into a new version of herself. I suggested small changes to her attire, layering a fitted sports top over her loose tee, adjusting leggings to enhance comfort and form. She followed my instructions obediently, and each successful adjustment brought a small electric charge through both of us. I noticed the way she moved differently afterward, carrying herself with a newfound confidence. My own pulse quickened as I reflected in the mirror. Not only did I see her transformation, but I felt my own desires intensifying. There was an internal struggle brewing. Part of me thrilled in the excitement, the mentorship, and the shared secret. Another part, the part Ryan usually keeps hidden, wrestled with guilt and anxiety. I worried about boundaries, about whether I was crossing a line, and about what Isabella would think if she ever found out. Yet the more I coached Mia, the more my fascination with transformation, both hers and my own, became impossible to ignore. One evening, after a particularly long session, Mia hesitated before leaving. "Ryan, I feel different. Better somehow. More like me," she admitted quietly. Her eyes sparkled with a mix of gratitude and vulnerability. I realized that the makeover wasn't just physical. It was emotional. Guiding someone through transformation meant touching their sense of self, their confidence, their identity. And in doing so, I found myself craving my own reflection, my own journey into expression. That night, alone in my apartment, I couldn't resist exploring my own transformation. I retrieved the padded outfits, the makeup, and the heels I had long hidden, and I began to mirror the guidance I had given Mia. Every brush stroke of foundation, every curve accentuated, every wig adjusted felt electric. The thrill of crossdressing had always been intimate, private, and personal, but now it felt amplified, almost shared in spirit with Mia. The physical sensations were intoxicating. The softness of fabric against skin, the snug embrace of shapewear, the subtle weight of a wig, and the unfamiliar balance of heels. It all combined to create a heightened awareness of self. I practiced walking, speaking, and moving as the version of myself I rarely allowed the world to see. The exhilaration mingled with a vulnerable tension, knowing that my secret side could be exposed at any moment. As the days passed, the stakes grew higher. Mia started trusting me more, asking for advice not just on gym techniques but on posture, style, and subtle adjustments to her wardrobe. Each session deepened the connection, yet also increased the risk of exposure. A misplaced comment, a misunderstood instruction, or a slip in professionalism could unravel everything. Then the first major obstacle arrived. Isabella decided to surprise me at the gym one evening. Panic surged through me as I realized that guiding Mia while maintaining secrecy was about to be tested. I had to navigate the session carefully, keeping Mia's progress and my own secret persona hidden from Isabella's watchful eyes. The tension was palpable, every movement and instruction fraught with potential disaster. The symbolic moments intensified. A dropped water bottle, a toppled towel rack, a fleeting glance in the mirror that showed me both myself and the reflected version of Mia. Each small event became charged with suspense. My body and emotions were on high alert, balancing exhilaration, fear, and the thrill of transformation. By the end of the week, I had realized that this wasn't just a casual makeover anymore. It was a journey into identity, power, and emotional connection. Every session, every adjustment, every shared secret had changed the dynamics between us. And as I watched Mia leave after another successful session, I knew the real challenge was about to begin. How far would I go in exploring transformation? How much could I reveal? And what would happen if my dual life collided with the people I loved? The weeks of private sessions had transformed both Mia and me. She moved with confidence I had never seen before, her posture improved, her wardrobe choices sharper, and her energy radiant. I couldn't help but feel a sense of pride, and a secret thrill, as her guide and mentor. Yet the thrill came with a gnawing tension. Each session was a delicate balance between helping, exploring my desires, and avoiding exposure. One afternoon, Isabella decided to accompany me to the gym for support. Panic surged through me like electricity. My secret life, my cross-dressing tendencies, and the intense sessions with Mia were suddenly at risk of being discovered. My pulse pounded as I tried to project casualness, adjusting my own attire to look perfectly normal. Mia, unaware of Isabella's presence, followed me to the gym, ready for another transformative session. I felt every heartbeat, every flicker of anxiety in my chest. The gym, once a place of routine, now felt like a stage where one wrong move could unravel everything. The session began innocuously enough. I instructed Mia on posture and stance, occasionally adjusting her top and leggings to accentuate her form. Every touch, every instruction was electric, charged with the thrill of shared transformation. But as Isabella's gaze scanned the room, the tension escalated. She lingered near the weights, observing quietly, her curiosity subtle but undeniable. Suddenly, an unexpected obstacle appeared. One of the gym's regulars, someone I knew casually from previous visits, approached Mia with a compliment. "You look amazing. Did you change something?" Their tone was genuine, but the timing couldn't have been worse. I froze, heart hammering, calculating how to respond without revealing the full extent of the makeover or drawing attention to my role. Mia blushed, clearly embarrassed, and I stepped in smoothly, deflecting the compliment with a casual remark about her training routine. The interaction was brief, but the adrenaline rush left me shaking slightly. Every glance, every word now carried weight, as if the room itself had become a minefield. Isabella moved closer, her eyes narrowing subtly. "She's different," she murmured almost to herself. My stomach lurched. How much did she suspect? Could she tell that my sessions with Mia were more than just casual advice? The balance between thrill and fear was unbearable. Then the moment of symbolic intensity occurred. Mia attempted a complex squat, balancing a dumbbell carefully. Her footing wavered and she nearly lost her balance. Instinctively, I reached out to steady her, my hand brushing against her side. The closeness, the physical contact, and the mirrored reflection of my own desires in that moment sent waves of vulnerability and exhilaration through me. As the gym echoed with the faint clatter of weights, Isabella stepped closer, curiosity and suspicion mixing in her gaze. "Ryan, you're acting differently," she said softly. My throat went dry. Could I maintain composure? Could I navigate this precarious situation without revealing my dual life? The tension escalated further when Mia, emboldened by the progress she had made, suggested a new wardrobe adjustment. Something bolder, more revealing, more transformative. My pulse spiked. I knew it would push boundaries both physically and emotionally. The decision to approve or refuse carried consequences, not just for Mia's confidence, but for my own secrecy and self-exploration. I nodded subtly and she changed in the corner, re-emerging with the new ensemble. The change was dramatic, a striking enhancement of her posture, silhouette, and presence. I felt a surge of pride, but also a dangerous thrill as if we were both standing on the edge of discovery. Then the twist. The gym manager appeared unexpectedly, inspecting the area. My hands shook slightly as I tried to maintain control over the session. Every adjustment, every gesture had to be calculated. The manager's brief glance could have ended our secret explorations in an instant. The symbolic tension peaked when Mia tripped slightly on the gym mat, her balance faltering. I reached for her instinctively, and our eyes met in the mirror's reflection. In that instant, I realized how deeply entangled our transformations had become. The physical act mirrored our emotional vulnerability, fragile, electrifying, and suspended on the edge of exposure. Isabella's voice cut through the haze, soft but firm. Ryan, what's happening here? Time seemed to freeze. The duality of my existence, the secret thrill of transformation, and the high stakes of exposure collided. My mind raced for explanations, for deflections, for anything that could protect my secret while preserving the trust and progress we had built with Mia. Every second stretched endlessly, the gym becoming a stage where fear, excitement, and emotional tension intertwined. Could I navigate this delicate balance? Could I guide Mia to confidence while keeping Isabella oblivious? Or had the moment come when my secret life would collide with reality, exposing desires, transformations, and truths I had spent so long hiding? The session ended abruptly with Isabella insisting we return home. Mia departed, unaware of the internal storm, leaving me trembling, exhilarated, and terrified. The symbolic moments, the mirrored reflections, the nearly tripped squat, the fleeting brushes of touch, lingered in my mind. The stakes had never been higher, and the balance of secrecy, thrill, and transformation hung by the thinnest of threads. The gym was quiet as Mia gathered her things, the session winding down. My heart was still racing, adrenaline and exhilaration clashing in every nerve. I had guided her through posture corrections, wardrobe adjustments, and subtle confidence tips, but Isabella's lingering presence had made the entire session a high-stakes game. Every glance, every movement felt amplified, like walking a tightrope over a precipice. I think I got it now, Mia said softly, a mixture of relief and pride in her voice. Her movements were smoother, more deliberate, her posture impeccable. She smiled at me and I felt a wave of satisfaction in something far more personal, an electric thrill that always accompanied transformation, magnified by sharing it with someone else. Isabella stepped closer, her eyes narrowing slightly as she observed Mia. She looks different, she said, her voice casual but layered with curiosity. My stomach tightened. Could she sense the deeper connection, the subtle mentorship, the hidden thrill I derived from guiding Mia? Then the unexpected happened. A new gym member, someone I had never seen before, approached Mia. Wow, you look amazing. Did you change your style? Their voice was warm, complimentary, and innocently probing. Mia blushed, caught off guard, and I instinctively stepped closer to offer reassurance. Isabella's gaze flicked between us, sharp and knowing. My pulse raced. Every second, every gesture, every word now had weight. One misstep could unravel the delicate balance of secrecy I had maintained. The air between us was charged, heavy with tension and possibility. Mia adjusted her leggings almost self-consciously while I offered a gentle smile. It's just practice and guidance, I said casually, deflecting the compliment. My mind was a whirlwind, calculating, anticipating, and hoping that Isabella would accept the explanation without probing further. Then came the symbolic moment. As Mia reached for her water bottle, she stumbled slightly. I reached to steady her, our hands brushing. In the mirror across the gym, I caught the reflection of that fleeting touch, the intertwining of mentorship, trust, and unspoken desire. My heart pounded, a mix of exhilaration and fear, knowing that this fragile moment could tip into full exposure. Isabella's voice cut through the tension. Ryan, what's really going on here? Time seemed to freeze. The duality of my life, the ordinary Ryan, the secret crossdresser, the mentor of transformation, was laid bare in that single question. Every instinct screamed to protect my secret, yet the truth of the connection and transformation was undeniable. Before I could respond, a notification beeped from my phone, startling me. A message from an unknown number flashed on the screen. I saw what you did at the gym, and I know what you're hiding. My blood ran cold. The gym, the session, Isabella's presence, Mia's transformation, all of it now teetered on the edge of exposure. I glanced at Isabella, her brow furrowed, suspicion growing. I looked at Mia, she smiled, oblivious to the storm about to erupt. Everything hung by a thread. My secret, my desires, and the delicate balance of trust could unravel in an instant. I realized, with a mixture of fear and thrill, that the life I had carefully compartmentalized was no longer fully under my control. The session ended, but the tension didn't. As we left the gym, Isabella's eyes followed me, questions unspoken but loud in their intensity. Mia waved goodbye, radiant and confident, unaware of the storm brewing just beneath the surface. Back in my apartment, I sat alone, heels still pinching, makeup smudged from the excitement and nervous energy. My phone buzzed again. A new message from the same unknown number. "We need to talk. Soon." I froze. My reflection in the mirror stared back at me, half Ryan, half woman, both exhilarated and terrified. The duality of my existence, the thrill of transformation, and the looming threat of exposure converged in that moment. And just like that, the story paused, teetering on the edge of revelation. Would Isabella discover my secret? Would Mia understand the depth of what we had shared? And who was the mysterious observer now stepping into our lives? The answers were unknown. The tension was unresolved. And as my pulse slowly returned to normal, one truth became terrifyingly clear. My life, my identity, and my desires were about to collide in ways I could never have anticipated. The story ended with a single question hanging in the air. Who would uncover the truth first? And what would happen when they did?